What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Vintage Unicorn Beauty Makeup and etc. Today I am following through on the poll that I did yesterday, I want to say, or this morning, I'm not sure. I did it at some point, asking whose tutorial you would most like me to do. I got a lot of requests for Jaclyn Hill, but I got just as many for Jeffree Star. I familiarized myself a little bit with Jaclyn Hill. I really had not ever watched her tutorials, and I didn't seem to have a lot of the products that she was using, so I wanted it to be, well, she does say that you don't have to use MAC, but I really wanted to try and remake this look, and between you and me, I think I nailed it. Can anyone tell me who that is from? He has a new special. Watch it. It's good. So I hope you guys enjoy this look. This is how it came out. The Mugshot to Runway Blood Sugar look. How appropriate, considering this is going to be a double upload day, and tonight I will be doing another prison story time, and I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. So please, let's get on with the video. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you on this side. It is hot. That Skinny Mint stuff is really nice, actually. I know it has some possibly negative stuff, but I'm using it very carefully, and I really enjoy it. So it seems like next we have to do cake mix. I wrote crease, buff and blow, pull out. Buff and blow, pull out cake mix. I wrote that. Don't know what I was thinking, but it looked like Lipstick Nick was using a very similar brush to the brush she used on the brows. This is just a general kind of flat buff brush. I'm sorry, my arms are doing really bad, a lot of sun and stuff, so I'm trying to hide them. I am going to dip into, where is Cake Mix? Okay, so it's this kind of nudie transition shade, very nice, and it seemed like she was just buffing and blending, and that's why I wrote buff and pull up. So I might need a little bit more of a heavy hand to apply the product and then buff it out. So I am going to match this on both sides and see what we look like. I will say she uses like 9 shades in this, and some of them I found to be redundant, but I am going to follow the exact steps that she followed. So here we have the finished product after blending cake mix into the crease, and the next step is to go in with cavity, going right in with cavity. Is that correct? Yes. Buffing it into the same crease, using a lot of it. It is a very bright purple shade, and I am going to do my best to integrate it into the look. To do so, I think the best brush to do so, I'm just gonna make sure it's clean, would be my 506 Precision Blender. So I'm gonna take cavity on the brush. That is a lot of pigment, and I am going to tuck it into the crease. And she blended it throughout the entire length of the crease. And Lipstick Nick has this beautiful technique I've noticed, where her motions are very small and circular, but very fast. It almost reminds me of like playing a percussion instrument where you're doing like a roll or something. She's rolling the brush, but doing small little circles. So that is actually a very nice color in there. I can't guarantee I'm going to look exactly like Jeffree Star. I am just trying to follow the exact steps, and I am referring to the video on the computer while I do this. So trying to make sure that I am staying on track and that things aren't getting a little bit too much too fast. So that is blended in. She did use a lot of it. I used a lot of it, and we're gonna move on to the next step. Having referred back to the tutorial, I actually need to add quite a bit more cake mix because that pink is definitely there. And I am just adding gradually more color and making sure that I am blending it rather than just packing it. It is a very buffed out, blown out, blended look, and I'm going to start pulling that color upwards, which is actually what Lipstick Nick says in the tutorial for people with hooded eyes. Now my eyes aren't super hooded, but they are there, so it looks like I have some deep set eyes. I am definitely going to hit my brow again after all of this and blend in with that glucose and sugarcane mixture. I might wet the brush though. The next step, which I'm going to use my 321 for, or I might even use an E36 depending on how this works, is to take Root Canal, this beautiful purple shade, and we're gonna tuck that deep into the crease. And the idea is I wanna leave this block section in the center of my eye fairly unobstructed so that I can apply the red shade. So I'm gonna take a little bit more of that Root Canal And this is more of a packing kind of thing. I want it to show through, but I also want it to integrate into the other colors. And she takes it pretty deep into the crease. Jeffree has this amazing bone structure, and his eyes just, if I take it as far in as she did, I would end up looking like I have two black eyes, especially with the colors. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the colors down, go back to that 506 that I had, and take a little bit of that color Tongue Pop just to blend it out. And that is one of the alterations I'm making for my eye shape, so that I can use a color instead of a dry blending brush to blow that color out, because it is fairly blown out in the tutorial. It's not as blown out as the Blood Sugar Shoot, but Jeffree Star loves his blown out eye looks, and I love those looks. As you can see, I have a lot of hair right here, and I am just really trying my best not to pluck it or string it or do something else. That would be a good prison tutorial, how to string eyebrows. That's something that started in the penitentiary and came up, let me tell you. All right, so that is nice and blown out. Also, I'm shooting midday, so my lights are a little off. I use umbrella lights and a ring light, so they are better suited for nighttime recording. But I think also because I'm filming in 4K, there's a lot of imperfection in the camera, which I am seeing, but that's okay. So now there is the slightly more difficult part, for which I am going to use a much smaller brush than Lipstick Nick used. I'm going to be taking Coma, which is the darkest shade in the palette, and I am going to be tucking that into the outer crease, and I am going to create the outer V. And I am going to use small circular motions to begin with, and if I have to build in, then I have to build in. And she does do an outer V. I noticed they don't call it the outer V, but it is definitely an outer V type formation. I'm actually going to hold the brush a little lower and just continue adding that color and blending and blurring it out. This is going to be the depth in that red and purple cocktail. So I might take my time and add quite a bit, and I don't want you guys to have to wait while I get it how I want it. So I am going to report back in just a moment. So now that I have placed all those colors and I have blended them to something I can live with, I don't want to overblend them because I want them all to show in their glory. I'm starting to realize it wasn't overdoing it to use that many colors. It was intentional so that there were, you know, multiple layers of gradation. Gradation like radiation. Ah, what is wrong with me? So referring back to the tutorial, I took some extra notes. So what I'm going to do is on the outer crease, I have placed Coma, and then they go right into the middle lid. I am actually going to start with the lower lash line, and we're going to use Fresh Meat on the lower lash line. Again, using an E36 brush, only a clean one. What color was that again? Fresh Meat. That is a beautiful color. It is a very scary color, intimidating, but I am going to do my best to buff that all along my lower lash line. And I will say, when I posted the poll yesterday, there were a lot of people requesting Jaclyn Hill. I will be honest, I have actually, well, today was my first day watching a Jaclyn Hill tutorial. She is very beautiful. She is very fun to watch. She's very high energy. I chose Jeffree Star because I have the products, to be quite honest. I am not very familiar with Jaclyn Hill. Of course, I know her name. I don't have any of her products, but that might be something that I endeavor to do in the future. Please sound off below and let me know what you think of that. I am also going to do some blending here. Also, I have a few thoughts about a couple of new products that have hit the market, including the Kylie Summer Collection and the Norvina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, both of which look really beautiful. I love reds, and I would love to do kind of a mini giveaway while we're still doing the Jeffree Star giveaway. So let me know what you think of that, whether or not that's something anyone would be interested in. And we are going to move on to some more lower lash line work. So the next step is to take that lower lash line in which I have blended out Fresh Meat. I'm going to add just the slightest bit more because I know where this is going now. I kind of got lost in translation there. I'm staying to the outer edges of my lash line because I know it's going to blend. So I'm going to take a clean E36 and I'm going to be buffing Cavity into that color. Wow, that is really beautiful. If you can see that, that is a lovely color combination. And I am actually going to flare it out a little further than Jeffree started. that creates a really beautiful like hidden shade. And then to blend that out and clean it up, I am going to take a slightly buffed out, this is like a version of the Morphe 506, it's just a little bit fluffier, and I'm going to take, is it Tongue Pop or Cake Mix? It is Tongue Pop, the color I've been using to blend and buff out, just to assimilate that into my skin color, as Lipstick Nick says, and also blend away any edges. And I am actually going to do that all over the look right now, because there are some harsh edges that I would like to clean up, and this Tongue Pop color is the perfect kind of rescue shade, as I call it, a shade that comes in and cleans things up, blends away without destroying the whole look. So just very small circular motions. I am very much trying to stick to the smoky red aesthetic that Jeffree Star has, but noticing right now I have lost a little bit of that color extraction, coma. I have lost a little bit of the coma in the process. I'm going to pack that in with that same E36 brush, just so that there is a definite dark corner. Staying in a very V-like motion, and then packing right here, because this is where that red is gonna go, and I didn't follow the tutorial verbatim because I wanted to make sure that the red would pop. So now is the moment of truth. I'm going to be bringing out one of my best brushes, my Scone Large Shadow Brush. Here it is. And I am going to be taking, what is the red that they used? Prick. It's a beautiful color. It is an orangey red, and this is going to be absolutely saturated on my lids. So I have quite a bit of it, and I'm just gonna pack. Wow. Wow, okay. That is there. This is like the matte version of the color Blood Sugar on this palette, which I love. Also, I can clean up a little bit of the frilly edges by packing this very pigmented matte right over it. So I am literally going to continue packing and packing until that color is very much my lid, looking like I did a cut crease. I am so happy with this. It is just absolutely stunning. It really is. And I tend to get a little bit of a raccoon eye thing going on just because of the shape of my eyes. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. But right now what I want to do is go back and focus on that color Glucose, the one that kind of got lost in translation. And I'm going to definitely saturate the brush. And I was looking at Lipstick Nick's technique. She almost uses it like it's a liquid, like the technique she uses to sculpt out that brow. So I'm going to take that Glucose color and just really accentuate that brow bone. Then what I want to do is take that same blending brush, and I've actually, I think, over blended a little bit because the colors are now all kind of one from far away. When you look up closely, you can see where they all are. They definitely have their own place, but I like Jeffree Star's blown out look. So I am going to bring this up and into a cat wing on both sides, and also clean up that edge between Glucose and the rest of my eye. And just blend a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit more of that Tongue Pop color, just a tiny little bit. Alright, so the next step is to lash line, and I am going to highlight just a little bit in the inner corner with Glucose. Which may not have been a great idea, but you know what? Alright, so lights, camera, lashes. I am going to lash line and be right back. Lights, camera, lashes, everyone. Yes, I am wearing false eyelashes. These are the Stormy eyelashes by Sugar Pill, and I figured if I'm doing a Jeffree Star look, I have to pull out all the stops. Also, for my lips, I did not have the lip color from him that he was using, which I believe is the color Virgin, but I did have an MDM Flow lipstick, which is very similar. It's very comfortable. It's in the shade Bossy or Milkshake. It's in the shade Milkshake. MDM Flow is a great brand. I really enjoy them. They've kind of faded out, but I think they were always kind of an indie brand. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please remember to subscribe, comment below. You could be the lucky winner of one of these, or a Thirsty palette, or the Equality Liquid Velour lipstick set. That's a lot. So please go ahead and comment. Follow me on my social media. I am linking the original video down below. So I hope you guys will let me know whether or not I nailed it or failed it. Let me know, and I will see you the next time. Mwah.